Hey yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to Narration YouTube channel. In today's video, if you are a front-end engineer, I'm going to show you how to create a good searchable and a filterable table. To make search and filter easy for users who are accessing the system, we are going to use HTML, CSS and JavaScript only. Guys, you can use this HTML, CSS and JavaScript boilerplate. So now we are going to start. Let's create a new folder. So far, let's use desktop and let's create a new folder. Let's call it frontend. The next video will show you also the backend, what is behind the scene, but I'm going to give you that frontend. If you're a front-end developer, this video will help you. For backend engineers, you have to wait, you have to do subscribe for the next video. So now we have to open this. So on the front-end, let's create a file and let's call it table dot, let's call it HTML. No problem. So now you see guys, so let's use this boilerplate. But I see it's too much. Let's use another one. Let's use another boilerplate. So let's use HTML boilerplate 5. I think these are good. Let's delete this. Then we need what we need now: HTML, cursor, name, leaf. We don't need this. Everything we are going to do it there. So we have head and body. So these are comments. Let's remove it. So now we are dealing with body. You see meta name. The other thing that we need now is let's add a title. And let's call it searchable. And searchable and the filterable table. So with HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So now it's done for title. So the next thing that we are going to deal with is you're going to deal with body. So for body, what we need now is a body. For what we need now, we need to declare div. Then class, let's call it class a table. Let's call it a table container. but let's use small letter table container. So then you close our div. Then we need the heading. Let's use heading 2. For heading 2 we need employee. Let's use employee data table, for example. Let's remove this. Okay, I'm sorry for that because of. Let's remove this. So now the next thing that we need is we are moving with input. Let's use, for example, input type is gonna be text. Then id equals search. id equals search. Let's use a search input. Then we need the placeholder of, let's use search. For placeholder we are going to use a search. Let's mention all of them. Search for names. Search for names. Let's use department. And departments and others, let's use this for now. But we need also the class. Then a class, let's call it search. Let's use search box, no problem. So this is a search box. So after that, what you're going to do, we are going to move with table. Let's move with table. Let's use table. So table ID, let's call it data table. Then in the table we need the th, of course. Let's close. Then you need the tiara. We need the th, sure. Let's use id. Sorry. id. Let's use again th. Name. Th. Let's use department. And we need, let's put here email, th. Not salary, let's use email. And we need, let's for example use the status, th status. So after that, what you're going to do is to go with, let's deal with table body or T body. Some T body we need. What we need now, let's put different things here. Okay, by using tiara, then let's use td. In td, let's put, for example, 1 for the id. Then td, let's put here matrix engineer for name. You see here we are on name. We first with id, matrix engineer for name, then td, let's use his cyber security engineer. So after that, let's put the email. Let's use matro@gmail.com, for example. Then td, let's use here, let's add the span. Let's use active. Then in let's add the class. Let's use on a class. Let's use status active, for example. So now we have finished our tiara, but we need many. We need another tiara. td2, and the name, let's call it, for name we are going to use, let's use let's use here for name. Let's copy this. Let's copy this first of all. ID is 2, and for name you're going to use Bemerici. Let's use Emmanuel. And for department, let's use electricity. Then for email, let's use them at gmail.com. Then for status, let's use for example on Vemerici, let's use, for example, status pending. And you need here pending. So now we need need another thing. Let's copy. Here we need to use 3 as ID, and let's use the email schema. Nothing. For the department, let's use network. Engineering. Then for email, let's use shame@gmail.com. So for status, let's use for example inactive. So let's put here inactive. Then we need another. Let's query. We are on number 4. Number 4, let's use David Davros. So the department, let's call it IT. Then email, let's call it david@unreached.com. Then for status, let's use active. So email used david@unreached.com. Then for status, use spam. Let's remove this spam class. And then status, let's use active, but it is small. Active. Then for now, the other things that we need is let's use on 5 names. So he's in data science, and email is cas@unreached.com. Then status. Let's use this pending, no problem. So after this, what we need now, we are going to do CSS. So after title, let's add style. So after style, you're going to start with body. Body, let's use fonts. Let's use font family, which is gonna be to Arial. Let's use Arial. Let's use this self. Let's use this, no problem. Then background, let's make it white. So for white, let's use F4, F6, and F8. Then we need the padding. Let's use the 40 pixels. So let's finish by here. Then let's move with a table container. You see, guys, for pixels, let's use maximum width. Let's use 90. Then margin auto, of course, and it is background, but you still need something like this. Then the background, for background, let's change it. Let's make it for example, this white. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Did I write this wrong? So let's see on that. Let's start with this. What is the issue? Let's write it again. Background. It is FFF. Let's use this. And the root use padding radius, it use 10 and the padding 20. But the issue here is because we didn't put this here. Okay, so now padding 20, then you wrote use a box. Let's use box shadow, which is going to be equal to 0 for pixel. Use it as pixel RGBA 0001. Now we are moving with this is for making it. Now what we need now, we are moving with let's move with heading 2 of if there is no issue with this. For heading 2, text line equal center, let's use this, no problem. Text line center. Let's use again dot search box. So after that, the only thing that we need, let's use width. For example, width is gonna be, let's make it 100. Then padding 10 pixels, border radius, let's make it a 6. 10 pixels, border 1 pixel, solid, CC, no problem. Let's use this and let's use a border radius of 6. And the margin bottom of, let's use 15. But you need here something. So the things that you need, you already know that. Let's use so then font size, let's make it 14 pixels. So now that is okay. Then after let's move with we are going to move on table directory. Some table, let's give it 100 so, and the border collapse and the margin top, let's remove it, no problem. We don't need the margin top on top. Then we need to go with t-heads and background color, let's make it I don't need this, let's use, for example, 2C, let's use 2C 3E and 50, which is a gray sum. Then color white, no problem, but let's write white. There is no need of this. Then this is enough. Let's delete this. Then we need the T. Let's use TD or no, TH TD, no problem. So now we need what we need now. We need a padding. So padding, let's use for padding, let's use 12 pixels for difference. Then text align left. Okay, let's remove this. After that, what we need now, we need the th only. Th. For th, what we need now is on th, let's use let's put cursor only, and let's make it pointer, no problem. Then on tier and any th child, here what you're going to use, let's use these things. So we have child. It's okay, let's use white, and the hover, let's use white, and but we need here t-foot. So for t-foot, let's use the white also. Let's use a percentage, no, pound sign, E6, F2, FF. Then we need also, we don't need this for t-foot. Then for, we need for hovering tier. We need a tier hover, and let's make background color white. But we already have this. So for t-foot, we need, let's use font weight. Font weight, let's make it bold. Then on the status, let's move with the status. Status, we need the padding Okay, let's use the 4, but this is not the issue. Then margin left, I don't need it. Display in blocks, I don't need it. The only thing that I need is let's use let's add the color, which is have to be white. Then we need also so other thing that we need is let's put here active. So then background color, let's make it green. So for green, let's make it this 27 60. Let's use 60. What is the space? We need depending background color, which is gonna be red. So this. So now our style, let's say it is finished. So now what you're going to do now is to deal with JavaScript. Let's deal with JavaScript. You see we have it here. You don't need this. We're going to deal with a script because it is inside script. Let's declare a constant. Let's use const search input. So search input is going to be called element.get search input, and the constant get element data table, and we need const low. Let's call it lows, which is going to be equal to data table dot get element tl, but let's call this table. We don't need to call it data table. Let's call it table. So it is a table. Now what we need, we're going to go with search input dot add event listener. We need here let's use this cap and let's add a function here. In this brace, we're going to filter. So constant or const. Let's use a filter, which is going to be equal to search input to value to uppercase. No, let's use to lower. To lowercase. Then after, let's add conditions for let's use for rate I equal, let's use 1. Then I let be less than rows but here we need dot length minus 1 because of what we need. Then for this, what we need now is let's define a cell. Let's use the cells, which is going to be equal and rate match equal false for rate j equals 0. Set on length plus. Then we need if says g dot content to lowercase dot include filter stroke break. So now what we need is here we need rows this much that now. So I think now everything is okay. We can run our table.html and see the result. Let's open it. Open with let's see it on desktop front end. You see guys, but we still have here TD and something. Let's see if search is working. So you see guys, let's remove this. So it is on 2, 3. Let's correct the issue. So on 2.3, let's find the issue. You see here, we have to add this here to close it, sorry, we have this TD. We have to come and close it here. And then even on 3 we have to close it. It's a normal thing. So then let's save it and come and open again. You see guys, let's find matrix. Let's use David. For pending, we still have the issue with pending span. So let's check on our codes. It is on Cassia. So let's check the issue. The issue is now solved. You see guys, you can find Nigena, you can find matrix, you can find the verse. So you can find but why do you think correct this fireware? Guys, let's see. Let's write active, then let's save. Save this and let's open this. So guys, you see, matrix engineers, can you find cybersecurity? You see cybersecurity. Can you find Nathan? So see network engineering. Can you find Davros? And you can add another things. Let other things like let's make it 6. Let's add Wimana shampoo. jp enter 6 for correspond have it use 6 because we make them 6. It's save and let's run. You see guys, we man. You see guys, hello guys, welcome again to Unleashed YouTube channel. In today's video I'm going to show you how to create a searchable and filterable table where we can search anywhere. We can use one, we can use matrix, you see, we can use departments. We are using name as a matrix, you see. We can search with a department, cyber security engineer. We can search using email, metro, you see guys. We can search using Unleashed as a YouTube channel, you see. These are people who have Unleashed channel domain. Guys, this is more important for front-end engineer. If you're more interested, if you want to become a good software engineer, do subscribe. This is what I'm going to show you in this video. Let us start.